Greetings and konnichiwa, and welcome to the Onyx Tavern. I'm your host, Rick the Barkeep, bringing you podcast 112 here at the Tavern, presented by Hirotaku.com. Now, I've gone on record numerous times talking about how much I despise the gotta catch 'em all mentality of a lot of the Super Sentai toy lines. Something that's kind of been on and off in the series since Gower Ranger and the many Wild Zords that you can go ahead and collect, or Power Animals as they called them. But I will go ahead and admit that I'm really a sucker for the Ranger keys. And anybody that's known me, it's, recently I have been collecting tons of Ranger keys. Both the Japanese version and the American version, which I know may come as a shock to a lot of people, but my wife got me my first couple of sets of keys, and then they started coming out. I'm like, okay, I gotta get these, and then I'm like, I gotta get the Japanese keys, so I started collecting those. So I've just kind of gone crazy with the whole thing. Not crazy enough, mind you, to spend a lot of money on certain keys, which I will get into here in a second, but nevertheless, I'm kind of really interested in the keys themselves, because they are rather unique in both Power Rangers and Super Sentai. Particularly, they are in reference to the past history of the series, and makes acknowledgments of that. A lot of the things that we hear about Forever Red is that Disney was not interested in them doing the Megazord battle or having all the Red Rangers in there because they're essentially selling toys that can't be sold anymore in essence. They don't have them on the shelves. And the thing that we have going on here with the Ranger keys is they are essentially selling old toys in a way, or at least acknowledging the history of the series through new toys. And of course, the keys themselves are relevant to the plots of Gokaiger and barely relevant to that of Super Mega Force. Nevertheless, the keys themselves are great, and I've collected a whole bunch. However, both with the American keys and the Japanese keys, I have a couple of issues that I'd like to go ahead and address with them. Now, I've already talked about the American keys and what I don't particularly like about their design being smaller, the spring-operated one, which, by the way, it took me 3 months for Bandai to send me a replacement of my Zero Ranger 5 key, which was broken because it wouldn't fully close. Kept opening, and I finally got it. But again, that's all in the past, and you can check my previous video on why I don't like the American keys and Bandai of America's policy on that. But what I want to talk about primarily is the issues I have with the Japanese keys, particularly their packaging and the type of keys available. And what I just want to touch on the American keys is their packaging as well, and their availability. And let's actually go ahead and start with the American keys first, and we'll kind of segue into the Japanese keys. Now, again, I've already stated why I don't like the keys physically, but you know what? I'm collecting them, so what? I concede to the fact that it's at least fun to, get all these keys, and they are easier in some ways to get than the American releases. Now, the problems I have with the keys as far as their release and their packaging is, well, first of all, they only have 3 keys per pack. Why are there only 3 keys within a pack? When they came out with the first waves, you get Mighty Morphin, which was red, black, and blue. You get just those 3 Rangers. No Pink Ranger, no Yellow Ranger, and no Green Ranger or White Ranger. It was just the three Rangers, and they did that with several of the packs. Then what they started doing with the second wave is coming out with more Rangers within the packs, and coming out with repeat keys, which were the same Rangers you had before, except this time they were translucent. So for an example, when you would buy the Super Mega Force Pack A, you would get red, blue, and green Rangers. But when you got Pack B, you would get the Pink Ranger, the Yellow Ranger, and a translucent Red Ranger. Why not go ahead and include the Silver Ranger? Well, you put the Silver Ranger key in the Silver Ranger Morpher instead of packaging it separately, so now you have to buy the Morpher to get the Silver Ranger key. And then the Mighty Morphin packs. The first pack was, again, red, black, blue, and then when they came out with the second pack, it came out with white Mighty Morphin, green Mighty Morphin, and Red Ranger with Dragon Ranger armor, or Green Ranger armor. Then the next pack, or the C pack, or the D pack, I'm losing kind of track of these, was the translucent Blue Ranger, a Pink Ranger, and translucent Red Ranger, if I remember correctly. Or, no, translucent White Ranger. Again, why not just have, a couple of keys in there of what you actually want? And then the next pack of Mighty Morphin was the Yellow Ranger, Translucent Green Ranger, and I think Translucent Red Ranger. I don't know. I've kind of lost track of what translucents came in there. But basically, what I'm getting at is to get all 6, or in this case 7, of the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, you have to buy 4 separate packs. Now, when these keys first came out, they were priced about $10. That means you have to spend $40 to get 6 keys. Now, that price has declined slightly, but once you get to eBay scalpers, and I'll get to that too, it's a lot of money just to get 6 keys or 7 keys of one team. Now, the keys I've been looking for are the Alien Ranger keys. And again, here's the weird thing. You get 3 of the Alien Rangers in one pack, and then the second pack, you get the other 3 Rangers, Yellow, White, and Ninjor. So you have to buy 2 packs to get one whole team. Now, what the Japanese did, which was great with their DX keys, is they put all 5 within the same pack. Why couldn't they do that for the Power Ranger keys? If you're going to charge $10 initially, and yes, I know the price has gone down to $7.99, but initially they were $10 each. Why not put 5 Ranger keys in there and then release the translucent and special keys at a later date? What was the point of having 3 in a pack with that stupid packaging, and I'll get into that as well, and then just continuing on with Pack A, Pack B, Pack C, Pack D? I don't understand that. Why couldn't you just put all 5 in a pack or 6 of them in a pack? What's even worse is that in order to get certain keys, you have to buy things that you don't want. So again, the Silver Ranger key, which I just now realized did come out in this pack as well. You couldn't just buy the Gokai Silver or, Super Mega Force Silver Ranger by itself. You had to either buy the Morpher, or you had to buy the Special Edition Morpher, where it came with 20 Ranger keys in there. Which, by the way, as of today's date here in February of 2015, is the only pack that includes the Silver Space Ranger, Yellow Dino Thunder Ranger, and Quantum Ranger. So you can only buy those within that pack. And the other keys are all repeats of keys they've already sold in previous packs, or in some cases, keys that will be available in future packs. So basically, look at it this way. So you go out to the store, you buy that Morpher, which is a cheap knockoff of the original Japanese, which was so much better. I know I'm harping on that, but it's my show. So you buy that, and you get the Red Ranger, Super Mega Force. You get those 2 keys with there. But then you want to get the Silver Space Ranger. Well, you can't buy it in an individual pack, so you have to buy the $50 Special Morpher, which actually is listed as $80, but it's on sale for $49.99. You have to buy that entire pack just to get 1 key and an extra Morpher, so you have 2 Morphers. Unless you have 2 children at home, or you just want to have 2 Morphers, it's needlessly charging you for something else that you don't want. All you want is that 1 single key, and you have to buy another Morpher and these 20 keys to get it. When again, they could just make a pack for, here are all the Space Rangers in this one pack. Here's all the Wild Force Rangers in one pack. Here are the RPM Rangers in one pack. But they don't do that. They separate out 3 at a time. And I don't get that. Why it's got to be 3 at a time? Why can't it be 5 at a time? And Japan actually came out with a 15 Red Ranger key pack where you could get 15 keys in one. Why is that not available yet within the United States? As far as I know, they're not even planning on making that because we're pretty much at the end of the key line since Dino Charge is now coming out. So it seems unlikely we would get something like that. Also, what's the point of the translucent keys? Again, if you're going to have those packs, why did you make 4 Mighty Morphin packs when you could have made two packs or 1 and have all those keys in there? The translucent keys are cool, I'll grant that, but that should be separate. That should be a special edition, whatever, that they have available, and if you want to get it, you can get it, but if you just want the standard set, you should be able to get that by itself. Heck, San Diego Comic-Con actually came out with the 7 Mighty Morphin keys in a single pack. That should be the standard, not the exception. Why isn't that the case? Also, the packaging on these keys are pretty stupid. I'm sure if anybody follows a lot of blogs out there, Lavender Ranger is the guy I follow. He's posted numerous times where people have actually been able to steal the keys within the pack and leave the pack there in the store. And first of all, I'm surprised anybody is stealing keys. I'm hoping it's just a bunch of dumb kids that are doing it, but I don't see any grown adult actually doing that kind of stupid act. But the packet is such that you can't just open it. You have to kind of like slide the keys out, and I had to shake one to always get that third key out. The packaging just can't be flat. It's got to be this weird 3D monstrosity, which also makes it very difficult for packing away once you're done, because I'm that guy that keeps the boxes, of course. So that's a very minor point. But again, you have to buy all those packs. And also, let's talk about the third wave that's coming out. So, Raptor was able to find for me at Toys R Us in North Carolina the Turbo B pack, which has the pink Turbo Ranger, the Phantom Ranger, and the Blue Centurion. Now, I give them props for releasing the Phantom Ranger and Blue Centurion keys. I was not even sure if they would even get the Phantom Ranger keys out there in the first place. Nevertheless, they released it. Now, I will also point out here, there's been no information about a release for a yellow Turbo Ranger. And the pink Turbo Ranger, I already got in the $50 20-key pack. So why are you giving me a repeat key of something I already have, I guess? Why did you release them in two different packs? Give me something new. Anyway, why didn't... Yeah, put the Yellow Ranger key in that pack. Anyway, that toy, that pack, I have not been able to find on ToysRUs.com. I went to Seattle a couple weeks ago. I stopped at every Toys R Us between Montana and Seattle, and I was not able to find any of the new Ranger key packs. Toys R Us website doesn't have them. Toys R Us on eBay doesn't have them. I even called into the corporate headquarters, and they don't have them listed in the system. And these are exclusively found at Toys R Us. You can only buy them at Toys R Us, because that's what it says in the package, Toys R Us exclusive. And I will remind you that my Toys R Us is 3 hours away from where I live. So, answer me this. You've released 8 new key packs, all with special 6th Ranger keys. That's kind of the gimmick of this one. And yet, you're not making those available to people. You are making it so hard for them to find. I stopped in 2 Toys R Us's while I was in Seattle. I stopped one in Spokane, and I called into a couple of others, and they don't have them. They're not listed in the system. Even when I was able to find the product number, they couldn't find them. Well, I mean, they weren't in the store, but then when I called to the corporate headquarters, they're like, we don't have these listed in our system. Why? Why is that? Why do you not have these keys listed in your system? Why are they not being available to buy online? Oh, and further, here's a little joy nugget. On eBay, they actually have the listing for the Power Rangers Down Thunder Pack A, which is Red, Blue, and Black Ranger. $7.99, not available. It's listed, and you can click the Buy It Now option or the add to your cart, but it says, error, this is not available. And there is no update as to when it will be available. So, in one sense, you have no keys. You have these keys that you're trying to sell, but you're not telling us where you're able to go ahead and find them. And yet, we want them. I mean, Raptor was able to find his Toys R Us in North Carolina. Ed Dargo was able to find his Toys R Us in Chicago, but he was only able to find the Zeo and SPD packs. None of the others were available in those stores. So how are we as collectors supposed to be able to find these? Are we supposed to be able to live in major metropolitan cities to get these keys? I mean, again, I've been in college in the middle of nowhere in Montana. I don't have a Toys R Us. All we have is a Target and a Walmart, and our Kmart went out of business. So what am I supposed to go ahead and do? I'm supposed to order online. But if you don't make them available online, how am I supposed to get them? I mean, I have money. I want to give it to you. Why don't you want to accept it? Why aren't you making it available for me? And of course, the worst part of this is those damn scalpers. Go to eBay right now and look for any of these new packs that came out from Mystic Force, SPD, Turbo, whatever. How much are they? $30 minimum to get them. $30 for 3 plastic keys. I'm sorry, but that is wrong, and I hate scalpers to do this. And there's a guy who got all 8 packs and is selling the whole set for $100. That's $40 over the listed price when you don't include tax. So you're telling me that the only way I can get them is to buy them from scalpers online. And then there are eBay bids where you can get them for $1, but this guy has 10 packs listed of the same key, which tells me somebody went into Toys R Us and bought 10 of those packs for the explicit purpose of selling them online. I hate damn scalpers. I hate this practice. We want them. The company is not providing them to us directly. Neither is Toys R Us, who technically is the third party and the exclusive seller, I mind you. Yet people are allowed to go on the eBay and sell these for 2, 3, 4, 5 times as much as they're worth. I kid you not, there was a bid that was not too long ago for the SPD and Mystic Force packs, just those 2 packs, for $100. Buy it now, $100. That is ridiculous. Why should we have to pay that much for a product that should be readily available either in-store or online? And again, when I spoke to Toys R Us, the woman told me, we don't know when these will be available. Despite the listing of these products being January 2015, here we are 11 days into February, still not available at major retailers. I don't understand that. That is what pisses me off more than anything. Because I got news for you, Bandai. You're not making money off of this. If you're selling these for $7.99 and a guy goes in and pays, for 5 of these things and then turns around and sells them for $30 each on eBay, I'm sorry, he's making the profit. You are not, and you're not getting a good gauge of where your audience is and what your audience wants. Okay, so I think I've gone off on the American keys enough again in both these videos. Which, by the way, if anybody has these keys and they want to sell them to me for a reasonable price, and by reasonable I mean a suggested retail price and not some jacked up price, I'll be more than willing to buy them from you. So I just want to make that point. But you know what? Even the Japanese keys themselves are not immune to my criticism. So first of all, let's talk about the main issue with the Japanese versions of the keys. First off, there are 3 types of keys in Japan, if you guys were not aware. There is the DX key, the candy toy, and the gashapon keys. Now, why are there 3 keys and what are the differences? The DX key is the best kind of key. That is a key that is fully painted on the front, on the bottom, already has decals applied. Looks really great. That is a standard key that you get when you buy, say, the toys or the DX packs. Like when you buy the Gokai Spirit, you get a DX key of Dragon Ranger. That is the key that, it just comes out of the pack. It looks great to go ahead and display the best kind of key out there. The second key is the Gashapon key, which actually comes in little plastic packets. Now, the thing about this one is you have to assemble the Gashapon key, put the head together, the torso, and the key legs, and then you have to apply the stickers on the outside and the inside of it. And the interesting thing about the Gashapon keys is that when you apply the stickers on the torso of it, it's a curved surface, and therefore, and the sticker itself is flat, so you have to put on a curved surface. And I have 3 keys already in which my friend, who's an expert at Gundams and model kits, can't get the stickers to stay on appropriately. They keep peeling off because they were on a slick curved surface. And then the final key, the candy toy, which are sold individually, are painted on the front, but you just have to put the sticker in between the legs in the negative space, which I don't understand why you have to do that, and then you have to put a sticker on the inside. So my question is, first of all, why are there 3 different types of keys, 2 of which you have to apply decals onto? That I don't particularly understand, because the DX keys are the best. It requires no assembly, no skill on your part. You have them, there they are, they're good to go. And the interesting thing is, not every key out there, the 200 plus keys that are available, they're not DX keys at all. Every Red Ranger key out there is a DX key. So you can go out there and buy Mask Man, Live Man, Zoo Ranger, Die Ranger, Go Ranger. All those Red Ranger keys, those are all DX keys. So no worry about it. You can actually collect every single Red Ranger key with little problem, because they release all of them in DX and a 15 key pack, as I said before, and they even release special packs that are only 5 Red Ranger keys in each. That's all you get is just the Red Ranger keys. But if you want to go ahead and collect the other Ranger keys, you can't buy them as DX keys. You have to buy them as certain kinds of keys. So let me kind of give you a little rundown here of what I mean. So let's say you want to go ahead and get the Zoo Ranger set. Well, first of all, getting Tyranno Ranger is going to be rather easy because he's in the 15 key set. You got the deluxe key. Now, if you want to get Tricera Ranger, now he's available as a candy toy where the front of it is painted and everything, but you have to apply the sticker on the inside. Okay. Tiger Ranger is only available as a Gashapon, which means you have to assemble it and put the stickers on yourself. Why is that? Why is Tiger Ranger only available as a Gashapon? Why is there no DX key of Tiger Ranger? Then you got Dragon Ranger. Yeah, you can go ahead and get the DX version if you buy the Gokai Spear, but if you need to buy it on its own, you have to buy it as a Gashapon or a candy toy. Look at Die Ranger. You can get Ryu Ranger as a DX key, but you can only get the other Ranger keys as Gashapons. Tenma Ranger, Shishi, Kirin, Ho-Ho, even Kiba Ranger, the 6th Ranger. You can only get him as a Gashapon. While they have a 6th Ranger pack out there, which only includes 4 6 Rangers from the most modern of Sentai series. And actually, let's get to that. So you can get Gala Ranger, Aba Ranger, Deka Ranger, Magi Ranger, Bokanger, Go Ranger, Shinkanger, Go Sager, Go Kaiger, and Go Buster. You can get all those keys as DX keys. Every series since Gala Ranger is available as a DX key. Before that, Gashapon or Candy Toy. Those are the only ones that you can go ahead and get. So why is it that only Gala Ranger on up has these DX keys? Why do I have to go ahead and put stickers on my Zoo Ranger keys, or my Car Ranger keys, or, heaven forbid, my Battle Fever J keys? Why is it that none of the past series are getting these DX releases? Now, the 2 series that did get DX releases is Go Ranger, which is reasonable because it was the first Sentai, and Sun Vulcan, which I don't particularly understand, primarily because it is only 3 keys that they have. So I find that odd that only those 2 prior Gala Ranger are being sold like that. And consider Jetman. You can only buy a DX key of Red Hawk. Yet Jetman was the most popular Sentai of all time, if you're led to believe what the American fans say. And yet you can't get a DX pack of that. You have to buy the Gashapons. And in the Gashapons, there's no rhyme or reason to where you buy them. From what I've been able to tell, the Gashapons have been sold in bulk sets. You buy a t-shirt, you get a Gashapon key. You buy underwear, you get a Gashapon key. You go out and buy a boxed meal or something, you get a Gashapon key. There's no way to really predict where they are. And then the candy toys, they're actually sold in, the candy aisles in Japanese toy stores or grocery stores. But it's only 1 key. You don't get a set of the candy keys. And now, from what I can tell, they're about 200-300 yen in Japan, which is a reasonable price for, a single candy toy. But of course, once we get to eBay, and this is also where I'm starting to have a problem again, is damn scalpers. Because I like, the Jacka designs, which are not bad. And I'd like to get Dijak and Clover King and all that. But I'm not paying $30 plus shipping for a single key as a candy toy. Now, if you told me, hey, you can get all the Battle Fever J keys for $30 plus shipping and their DX keys, then I would go ahead and buy that. But they never released that set. So, in effect, because of the unusual distribution of Gashapon keys, the production of the candy toys, and the limited run of the DX keys, it is nearly impossible to collect every single key out there for up to Go Kaiger. Now, I have seen people that have done it, but those people lived in Japan. And if I was living in Japan, if I was back in Kyoto right now, I could probably have gotten all those at the time. And that's another thing. This is 2015. Gokaiger came out 4 years ago. And yet, keys are still being sold, secondhand, third hand, and so forth. And another interesting thing that I'd like to go ahead and bring up is they have actually released Go Buster keys and Kyoryuger keys. But they have totally different ways of releasing them. So look at it this way. I've actually been able to obtain all the Go Buster keys out there. They came out with 2 packs. 3-pack of the first 3 Go Busters, the second pack with silver and gold, plus Beat J Stag. They had his key in there for whatever reason as a Buddy Roid key. Now, I don't like the idea that they are 2 different packs. It should be 1 pack with all 6 keys in there, or really dump the Buddy Roid key and just have the 5. That's the way it should be, and they're pretty easy to obtain. Kyoryuger, on the other hand, has released an exclusive pack in Japan where it includes, I think, like 15 keys. Because not only do you get Kyu Cyan as Ramirez, but you get Kyu Cyan as the female version, Kyu Gray as the spirit version, Kyu Gray as the living version, and so on and so forth. I mean, they just kind of went crazy with these. Not to mention, they come with little modules that you have to plug into your morpher, so it'll make the appropriate sound since, well, they came out after the morpher was made, and it's only got finite codes available into it. But, here's the issue. Only the Red Ranger key, from what I've been told, is actually a DX key, and the rest are either Candy or Gashapon versions. I've actually seen Kyu Cyan Gashapon keys on eBay for like $50. And if you want the whole set, which again is a Japanese exclusive, $580 on eBay. And I'm sure we can all afford that, and we can all get our Kyoryuger keys. So why weren't the Kyoryuger keys released as a set? Here are the 5 modern day. Here are the future Kyoryuger. Here are the Spirit Ranger keys. I mean, you could easily release 4 packs, which again I would not like, but you didn't even release them as DX keys, and you had to release them as one giant set, which is going to be impossible for a lot of American buyers to afford, and who knows what was actually sold in Japan. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing was sold for $20 at Toys R Us in Japan, and the $580 is just some idiot scalper on eBay. And of course, the way it is that even though Gokaiger's over, people still love the Ranger keys. And people, I guarantee you, they'll make a Tokyuger key set, they'll make a Ninja key set, and we'll see those in the future. But I would hope that they make them as DX keys, and they make them available in 1 pack. And again, it's been several years since Gokaiger's been on television, and these packs are still being sold. But why don't they release, like, new packs, basically? Like, go back and say, hey, this thing was popular, because I do not believe that the Ranger key packs, either being sold in Japan or in America, are not warranting past releases. I mean, do they really think that if they released a Flashman key set that nobody would buy it? Especially if they're all DX keys? Why aren't they going back and re-releasing these previous Sentai teams as DX keys? They're releasing Go Buster, they're releasing Kyoryuger, and they're probably going to release Tokyuger and Ninja. So why don't they go back and make the previous keys more available? And again, why aren't all the keys DX keys? Alright, so I'm looking at the time, and I'm ranting for about 30 minutes on this whole thing. Let me go ahead and just kind of wrap up with you guys what I just kind of feel about the whole key thing. I love the DX keys, and I think that they should release every Sentai character from Japan in a DX form in a pack of 5. And maybe you can have a 6 Ranger collector's pack where it has like all 15 6 Ranger keys up to that point. And then release future keys as Tokyuger, Ninja in 5 packs, 2 packs, whatever you want to go ahead and do to sell and move those products. Because I think for all of us out there, we want all the DX keys. Who here legitimately wants a Gashapon key that to put stickers on? Who wants a candy toy they have to put stickers on and buy one at a time? No, everybody wants in the pack, everybody wants the DX version, so give that to us. And anybody who says they want otherwise, I really have to question that. Even if you're Japanese, I really have to question that. And as far as the American packs go, Just put 5 damn keys in there and make them available to everybody. That's all I'm asking. Can we just do that? Why does this have to be so hard? So those are my thoughts on the distribution release of the Ranger keys in both Japan and America. I want to know what you guys think. What do you think about the keys? How many of you collected? Have you been able to get all of them? What's the problems you run into? Just let me know, guys. Otherwise, I want to thank you guys for listening. Everybody have a good evening. And the tavern is now closed.